So I'm going to share with you some questions that we call the 5 magic questions because they really are amazing, and related to the insights that people can come away with. And I will tell you that these can be used if you're a parent with your kids, or in my case, grandkids, and any kind of a situation where either someone has made a mistake that costs the company money, or they turned away a customer and that customer got upset because of how they were treated. It can apply to anything where you want someone to learn from it, even if it's something that's positive, where you want them to repeat it going forward. So the first one is to look at the sequence of events. What happened? And then, so that's sort of the left brain, this, then this, then this. But then also, how did you feel about what happened? So you get them talking about their feelings. And then looking at, all right, so let's think about, why did it happen that way? Get them to analyze, what were their motives? What were they thinking? What was going on in the moment that caused them to say what they did or do what they did? And then look at, okay, so what were the consequences? Did you get the outcome you hoped for, or was it a disaster, or somewhere in between? What was the outcome, and what's the gap between what you wanted and what actually happened? And then getting them to think about, how would you handle a similar situation in the future? So they start using that front brain, the prefrontal cortex, to envision what it is they want. And so again, you start building that connection of picturing, this is the outcome I would prefer instead of what happened. And then just look at, okay, so what are you going to do now? What's your next step? And sometimes you don't need to ask all of these questions, because in the process of talking with someone, they will actually throw in some of this, and you just need to listen so that you help guide them through the learning. So this is applicable, obviously, with a client when maybe you're doing an intermittent check-in to see how things are going with the use of this one particular system. Have they had any situations come up where things didn't go well? And you can use these questions to guide them through that learning process. Because if they feel like they've got a place to go next, it does a number of things. For one, and you've probably done this yourself, I know I have, if I've made a mistake, if I regret how I handled a situation, I can torment myself replaying it endlessly in a loop, right? On, oh, I wish I'd said this, or why did I do that? If I can remind myself, and I've memorized these questions by now, to go through these questions, then I can process it. I can figure out how I would want to handle it in the future, and I can let it go. But if someone's made a mistake and they're beating themselves up on a regular basis or on a continuous basis, it's going to be hard for them to stay committed. Remember, we've got that commitment piece we want to address so that they stay committed and stay on track. So this is one way of getting them back on track quickly. So what we're doing then is we are doing a cycle, basically repetitions, just like you do in the gym to build muscle. Here we're building connections. So we're focusing on the one thing, taking action, reflecting, and then repeating it so that we get that new wiring in place.